So today we are looking at the Zorin OS 17.2. So here is the boot menu. Let me quickly boot it in the live boot. So this is the second update or the point update of the Zorin OS 17. So Zorin OS is based on Ubuntu, if you don't know that. And also the country of origin is Ireland. So it's from the Ireland. The desktop environments you get is the GNOME and XFCE in the Zorin OS. And I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is VMware with 60 GB of virtual disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So the booting process will take like 2 or 3 minutes, but I'm going to mention as soon as it's going to load up the desktop layout. So yes, here it is checking, so I'm going to click on escape or maybe Control C. So it's going to skip the checking. And I'm going to mention how much of time it's going to take as soon as it's going to show up the desktop layout. So the main highlights of the Zorin OS 17.2 is it's powered by the Linux kernel 6.8 from Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, which is Noble No Bet. And if you didn't watch the Ubuntu 24.04.1 video, there is a video in my channel. If you want to check that out, you can check it out. And another thing is LibreOffice 24.8 Office Suite is in this 17.2 version. And another thing is Zorin OS 17 will get support with the software updates and security patches until June 2027. So you get the software updates and security patches until June 2027. And another point is better or updated hardware support. So it has better or updated hardware support. And many other updated applications and core components. I'm going to discuss about all those things as soon as the desktop layout is loaded. So it's still loading, so I'm just going to wait for it. And the last thing is Zorin OS also has built-in support for Flatpak, app image, and snap packages. If you want to install more applications, so these are all the supports you have, like a Flatpak, app images, and snap packages. And much more is changed in the Zorin OS 17.2. So the booting process will going to take a bit more here. So that's the reason I usually say like 2 or 3 minutes, because some distros will take a lesser time, some distros will take more time. So as you can see, it's still not loading. There is no such thing like a try or install the Zorin OS. So usually the welcome screen was like that, but it is taking a bit more time here. And also in the virtual machine, when compared to the bare metal, there will be a user experience difference, because in the bare metal everything will be running smoothly without any issues. In the virtual machine, some distros will have some hiccups here and there, like a laggy thing. These are all the things you see in the virtual machines. Even if you provide like a good hardware specs for the virtual machine, you should be still facing that type of issues. Even in the VMware and the VirtualBox, there will be a bit difference. VirtualBox will be playing all the Linux distros will be having good without any issues. Like a user experience in the VirtualBox will be way better when compared to VMware. So it's my point of view, it's my perspective. So that's how it's So that's the notification sound or the startup sound for the Zorin OS. So here you can see the try Zorin OS and install Zorin OS. So it completely took like 2 minutes 10 seconds. So that was the booting process. So here we have the language selection. So I'm going to boot it in the live boot, because it's always a good option to boot it in the live boot first, because if you have any issues, you can easily remove the ISO file. So that's the good thing here. So I'm going to try Zorin OS, and also I'm going to show you the installation also later. So you don't need to worry about that. In live boot there is no such thing like a installation application. There will be installer, you don't need to worry about anything. So it's going to do some things, and it's going to desktop layout. So it's going to take a few seconds here, and we should be seeing our desktop layout. So there are a lot of changes in the Zorin OS 17.2 in this release. All those main things are in the official website. So that's the reason I said just the basic things in the beginning. So people who doesn't want to watch those videos, watch the complete videos. So that's the reason I gave some basic highlights in the beginning. So people who want just some basic highlights can watch that and skip this video. So I don't want to force you to watch the video. So for you, if you want the complete information, you just need to watch complete video. But if you want just basic highlights, you can just watch till when I said the basic highlights, you can just watch there. So here we have our desktop layout. So I'm going to change the display settings first. Let's go to the settings. And so instead of settings, I opened like a store, I think. So let me go open the settings. So let's change the display settings. My monitor is 1920 into 1080. Let's click apply. And we have the configuration. Let's keep changes. So about the system, so this is also new thing, like a scroll bar. So the older version was a bit thin, so this is like a bit thicker. So device, it says as a Zorin. I kept everything default. I didn't change any of the settings or anything like that. So here it says memory 7.7 GB. So I'm using 8 GB of RAM. So the available RAM is 7.7 GB. So this is my CPU, which I already mentioned in the beginning. Disk capacity 64 GB. And the operating system or the version we are right now using is Zorin OS 17.2 core version. That is like a education lite and the pro version also. There are like a 4 editions. So I'm going to discuss in the official website. OS type, it's a 64-bit. Windowing system is a X11. Virtualization, VMware. Here is the software updates and here is the upgrade Zorin OS. So if you want pro, you can upgrade here. So let's close everything. So I'm just going to minimize it. Let's open the system monitor. So let's go to the system tools and let's find the system monitor, or else we can search it like here. System monitor. Let me close the settings. And you should be getting the same background of the Zorin OS. So these are all the process running right now. So in the background there is also store running. So I accidentally opened it. So somehow it's going to take a lot of time to load everything. So that's the reason I kept like opened. So everything is loading. So the store will take a bit of time. So that's the reason I didn't close anything here. Let's minimize it. So these are all the process should be running. And about the system requirements or the minimum requirements of Zorin OS, I'm going to discuss all those things in the browser. So this is the CPU. So in order to run, you need to run like a 60 seconds in order to see whether the graph of the CPU is stable or not. If you have issues in the CPU, you should be seeing a high graph here and there. So we need to run like a 60 seconds to see whether the graph is stable or not. So it is a GNOME desktop environment. Obviously, it's going to consume a bit of more resources when compared to the XFCE. So it's consuming like a 2.4 GB, and also the store is also open. So you should be consider that also. So in the bare metal, it's going to be way better, like a 400-500 MB lesser, and also CPU percentage will be a bit lesser also, and user experience will be a way smoother in the bare metal. So these are all the common things you need to understand in the Linux distro. So in the live boot in the virtual machines. So it's almost like a 60 seconds. So the graph is pretty much stable. So everything is working fine. So it went to 2.0 GB. Let's check the version of the system monitor. It's a 42.0. So here is the file system. I'm going to keep it on the resources, and I'm going to keep the system monitor in the right side corner throughout the video. So you can see all the changes and you can judge on your own instead of me, say after seeing all the resources. So you can judge on your own and decide whether to use this version or not. So let's open the internet browser. So let's see what version we get in the official Firefox browser. So the official website or the official stable version is 130.0.1 is the stable version of the Firefox right now. And there is also beta version which is 131. So there is like a LibreOffice updated applications in this version. So there is also latest version of LibreOffice and much more updated applications also. So we are going to go through all those things in detail. Let's check the version. So you get the 130.0.1. So you get the latest version. So that's a good thing here. So I already mentioned in the beginning, there is like a lot of updated applications in the Zorin OS 17.2. And let's close everything and let's type in like a about support to get some browser information. So browser name Firefox, version already mentioned, Here is the build ID, distribution ID, and updated channel, user agent. So it's Linux kernel 6.8.0-40. So you get the 6.8 version of the Linux kernel. So let me search for the Linux kernel now. Just type in like a Linux kernel and you should be taken to the official link. I'm using a VPN, so that's a random language here. So this is the official link of the Linux kernel, or you can just type in like a www.linux, not the Linux, just www.kernel.org. So here is the versions. So the version we get is 6.8. So these are all the available Linux kernel versions. So the mainline is 6.11 and the stable version right now is 6.10.11. So these are all the latest release dates. And if you want some information, you just need to click on the releases and scroll it down until you see all the information. So here is like a pre-patch, which is RC. You should be seeing like a RC in front of the kernel version, and the mainline, which is like a 6.11 right now, and the stable versions you already know. Here is the long-term version. So these are all the end of life of the kernel and release dates of the kernel. In order to get the Linux kernel, you can just type in like a uname-r, or else you can type in like a uname-a for the Linux kernel information. So here is it looks like for the kernel. So let's close everything. Let's get to the browser thing now. So right now memory size, which I already mentioned, 7.7 GB available. Disk space is 3.2 GB. Let's scroll it down. Here you should be seeing some browser information. I don't consider, and also it's not important for the video. But if it's important for you, you can just pause the video and read everything. Here is some other information. Let's scroll it down. Here you should be seeing the Mesa version and all those things. And here it says desktop environment, Zorin, GNOME, Windows Protocol X11. And here is our monitor resolution. Here is the Mesa version. And these are all some important information. If it's important for you, you can just read it by pausing the video, or else just skip this part. Now let's go to the official website. Let's type in like a Zorin OS and hit enter. So the first link will be Zorin OS, or else you can just type in like a zorinos.com and you should be good. So here the 17.2 version has information. So if you don't know anything about the Zorin OS, it's an alternative for the Windows and Mac OS. So here is complete information. So people who is a newcomer, or for the new to the Linux or the new to the Zorin OS, you can get all the information in the official website, or else you can get all the information in my channel also, because I made a lot of videos on the Zorin OS, because I covered like a 3000 videos of every Linux distros. So there are a lot of videos for you, or else you can just read in the official website or do your own research if you want. It's clearly up to you. So here is the complete information of the Zorin OS. Here is the other information like for schools, pro, and other things. So let's go to the Zorin OS 17.2. So you should be seeing main changes. What's new? Zorin OS appearance, making the desktop more customizable than ever. Let's see. So here is the Zorin OS appearance. Let's see the Zorin appearance. Thanks to the user suggestion, we implemented the ability to change your cursor theme. So here is the theme, other, like a Advaita and all those things, same thing as shown in the picture. So cursor, handheld, and red glass, white glass. I'm going to choose the red glass. And here is the shell. Here are the icons, applications. Here is the color, accent color changing. So I'm choosing the green. Here is the background. So it's going to change like this, or else you can change to black and white. You can change the manual schedule and all those things. I'm going to keep the light one because I like the light one. Here is the effects, like a jelly mode. I'm going to show you the jelly mode. So this is how it looks in the Zorin OS. So enable animation, disable animation, it's clearly up to you. desktop cube. So these are all the things which I already showed in the beginning, so we just go and continue with the main changes. And also this is one which changed in the like a scroll bar. So here is complete information, like we also made it easier to install additional themes in Zorin OS by adding a link to our new third-party installation guide. You just need to click on the things and you should be getting all the information right here, how to install themes and all those things. So they clearly gave everything here. So I'm not going to show you everything, so it's going to make a video a bit lengthy. So that's the reason. You can get to the information just by clicking on these things like a third-party themes and you should be good. So here is how to install. Let's close all those things. And the other thing is Windows. Here is the Windows. Here you should be seeing all the changes. So a new Windows section, you now have easy access to plethora of settings to personalize how app windows behave on the Zorin desktop. The new Windows section of Zorin Appearance has been neatly organized and thoughtfully designed to simply changing window placement behavior, how title bar acts, and how you can move the focus between open windows. So here you can see all the changes, like a click to focus, focus on hover. So you can do whatever you want, and toggle over scroll bar. So this is another thing. So as you can see, when you hover over it, you should be seeing a thick scroll bar. Before it was like this, thin. So they are showing in the image here, or a GIF. So here you can see it's updated to a thicker one. And what else we have? The latest LibreOffice. So let's close and see the latest LibreOffice version. Let me open the Office, LibreOffice, whatever the application it is. So the version you get is 24.8, the newest version of the award-winning Office suite. So let me open. It brings even better compatibility with the Microsoft Office 365 documents, more powerful contacts, quick find, sidebar, interface, and all those things. So here you should be getting all the information of the LibreOffice. So let's check the version. So here are all these things about LibreOffice. You should be getting 24.8.1.2. Again, other things you can go to the official website and do everything, because I don't want to make a video or the video lengthy. So you can customize, you can do whatever you want. If you already know how to use the LibreOffice, then it's clearly easily understandable here. So here it is, all the versions. So it's 24.8 version and newer apps. So I'm going to open all the applications later. Better security and compatibility. So it's based on the Ubuntu 24.04.LTS. I'm going to show you this also. And Intel Core Ultra processors. So here is complete information, like a Zorin OS 17.2 is now updated or powered by the same version of the Linux kernel as in the latest Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. So the Ubuntu 24.04 LTS has the Linux kernel 6.8 version, and also 0.1, which is 24.04.1 LTS, has the same kernel. So if you want to check those videos, you can see in my channel, which I already made, of Ubuntu and Ubuntu flavors, all the flavors of 24.04.1 LTS. So that was some information. And in order to update the 17.2, if you're using Zorin OS 17, you can upgrade to Zorin OS 17.2 by installing the latest updates from the software updater today. And if you're using the Zorin OS 16, you can perform an in-place upgrade to Zorin 17.2 without erasing your files and data. To do so, you can view our upgrade guide. So you just need to click on the upgrade page and you should be seeing how to do all those things from the 16 version. So this is how you can do the upgrade. So you just need to go to the official website and everything is properly showed here. So you don't need to worry about anything, you just need to carefully follow the rules. So before doing side by side, it's better to read first everything and do it later. don't do like a side by side watching and doing everything same time. So it's better to first read everything and do next. So these are all the options to upgrade. About the download, you can just click on the download OS 17.2 here. So here is other things which is unnecessary for the video. So here is, if you already purchased Zorin OS 17 Pro, for the Pro people, here is the other information. You can download a new copy of Zorin OS 17.2 Pro from the download link in your original purchase email. If you lost access to this email, you can resend it here. So this is how you can request the new download. So let me close it. So that's the complete information of Zorin OS. So in order to download, you just need to go to the download, or else you can download from the 17.2 blog, or else you can just click on the download right here. And here you should be seeing all the options. Like first you should be seeing the Pro version. The another one is the Core, which I'm using right now, and the another one is the Education version, and the last one is the Lite version. So these are all the other options. So looking for the Zorin OS Lite, so these are all the editions you get. So here you should be seeing Zorin OS Lite will continue to be available in the Zorin OS 17 and Zorin OS 18 release series. So I'm maintained until June 2029. So I'm not going to read everything. You just need to get all the information on your own. So it's better to do your research on your own instead of relying on someone. So that's the reason I give like all the information like that. So you can download the Zorin OS 17.2 Lite here. So you got 4 editions. If you want, you can go with the Pro version, or else you can go with whatever version you want. So here is all the difference of the Pro, Core, Education. So here are all the information. So I'm going to show you the downloading process of the Zorin OS Core. So this is the free. You can provide the email, or you can just skip to download, and it's going to download the 17.2 Core. And if you want different servers, you can choose it right here. And here is our ISO file. Always check the name of the ISO file. If you want to check all those things, you can check it like that. So here are other services or the servers. For the Asia, you can go with here. For the Europe, right here. And for the world, you can choose whatever you want here. So we got all the information. Now let's go to the terminal. Let's open the terminal and type in some commands. Or else let me type in here terminal. So these are all the main changes of the Zorin OS 17.2. Now let's go and get all the information detailedly. Here is the about information. You get the version 3.44.0 for the GNOME 42. So let me type neofetch. So neofetch is not pre-installed, so I'm going to install the neofetch. Let's copy the command, or else you can just type in the command, which is sudo apt install neofetch. So there is no password or anything like that. So it automatically logs you in. So there is no such thing like a password and all those things. I'm going to show you at the end. And I forgot to show you the system requirements. So it's running. So we are going to I'm going to show you the system requirements, because it's going to take a few seconds here. So instead of waiting, we can just check the system requirements, like Zorin OS system requirements. And here is all the information. So it's the official website information. So you just need like a minimum hardware specification. So CPU, you need to have like a 1 GHz dual core Intel or AMD 64-bit processor. RAM, you need like a 1.5 GB. So it's better to have like a 2 GB of RAM. Storage 15 GB, 32 GB for the Education, and 40 GB of Pro. So they completely or clearly gave all the information. So in order to run the Core version, which I'm using right now, you need to have like a 15 GB. For the Education, you need to have like a 32 GB. For the Pro version, you need to have like a 40 GB. And about the display, you need to have like a 1024 x 768 resolution. For the Mac computers, here is the complete information with the Apple Silicon processors. Here is the Microsoft Surface devices, like a frameworks, ARM-based, Chromebooks, Raspberry Pi. So you got all the complete information for every type of device here. So that's a good work from the Zorin OS. They gave complete information in the official website itself. In the help, you can get all the information here. So that's a good work. So you got all the information here, and also in the background the NeoFetch is also installed. Let me type in NeoFetch and hit enter. So here you can see the Zorin OS 17.2 as a operating system. Host, I'm running it on the VMware. Kernel version, which I already mentioned. Uptime 25 minutes. So it's almost 25 minutes till now. So packages 2157 dpkg and 12 flatpak. And shell bash version 5.1.16. My monitor resolution 1920x1080. Desktop environment GNOME version is 43.9. Here is the Mutter, here is the theme, and icons, terminal, my CPU. Here is the GPU, here is the RAM. So the RAM is almost 2.2 GB. So let's type in cat /etc/issue Zorin OS 17.2. Now let's type in inxi-sv8. So inxi is also not pre-installed, so let me copy the command and let me paste it here. Hit enter. So it's going to take a few seconds. Let me type in y. Hit enter. And you should be seeing all those things. So instead of waiting, let's check some desktop features. So here is some same things because it's a GNOME desktop environment. So here we have like a dark mode, light mode, and all those things. Let's click on the dark mode. So here you can see the dark mode. Everything is changing to dark mode. Let me change it to light mode. Here is the power options like a balanced, power saver, and all those things. Here is the night light. It's only available when you install on the main disk or a hard disk or a virtual disk. So here is the screen capture and other settings and all those things. So I'm just going to close everything. Here is the language selection. About the panel, like you can customize your desktop or the taskbar. Here is the taskbar settings. So here is all the customization. You can auto hide, you can change the positions. So it's pretty much good work for the scroll bar. Before it was like a bit of hard to correctly click on the scroll bar. Right now it's going to, when you hover over it, you can see the thicker thing. So that's a good work from the Zorin OS. So it's really helpful for me, but for some user it's clearly up to you. It's different perspective. And here are the actions. So these are all the customization things. What else we have here, like a settings, files. You can lock the taskbar, you can show the desktop. So let's type in inxi-sv8. So this is the command which will grab complete distro information. So let's go up and grab complete information. So here is my command. So let's go through all those things. Host Zorin OS, Linux kernel 64-bit, compiler not available. Let's scroll it down. Desktop environment GNOME 43.9, GTK version 3.24.33. Here is the GDM3 version 42.0. Distro Zorin OS 17.2, based on Ubuntu 22.04 LTS Jammy Jellyfish. So the kernel, you only get the kernel from the 24.04 kernel, like a 6.8. So it's based on Jammy Jellyfish. So I already said it's based on Ubuntu in the beginning. So the specific version is 22.04 LTS Jammy Jellyfish. So that's the reason it's better to watch complete video instead of just skipping. But for some people who want just the highlights, you can just see the beginning and you can end the video. So about the memory, available RAM is 7.7 GB, but I'm using 8 GB of RAM. So used is 2.3 GB. So it's consuming like a 2.4 GB, same thing. Here is some CPU information, which is unnecessary right now or for the video. Let's go to the graphics part. So these are all the vulnerabilities which is unnecessary. So that's the reason I didn't read anything. You can just pause the video and read everything if you want. VMWGFX version is 2.20.0, and about the display, X11 X-Arch version is 1.21.1.4. and what else we have here, like a screen resolutions and all those things. OpenGL version, LLVM version is 4.3. Mesa version, which I already showed in the browser, here is the version which is 23.2.1. Here is our audio information, like a ELSA version. Pulse audio version is 15.99.1. Here is the Pipewire version 0.3.48. and here is all the network, Bluetooth and all those things, which is clearly unnecessary for me, so that's the reason I'm just going to skip it. Like a repos, it's clearly unnecessary for the video. So the process running right now is 318, uptime is almost 28 minutes, wake ups 243, init systemd version is 249, shell bash version which I already mentioned, INXI version is 3.3.13. so we got all the information. So if you want hstop, just type in hstop. So you just need to copy the command, paste it, and you should be good with the hstop. So we got all those things, so let's click on the installer. So if you're running Libboot, you don't need to worry about the installer. The installer or the installation application will be right available on the desktop. So always try it in the Libboot first and you can install it later. So the installation or the installer is going to take a bit time to open, so we are going to wait for it. So when you open the installer, it's going to also give you the notification sound, same as when you boot up in the Libboot. So the language selection, you don't get the new installer or anything, you just get the basic installer. So language selection first, click on continue. Here you have the keyboard layout. So it's based on Jammy Jellyfish, so that's the reason you should be getting the older installer. In future you should be getting a new installer, so it could be or it may not, so it's clearly up to them. About the keyboard layout, here is the language selection. If you want, you can test your keyboard, you can detect your keyboard layout. Continue. So updates and other softwares, if you want to update, you can update. So if you don't want to participate in the census, you can uncheck it or check it here. So I don't want to participate, so that's the reason I'm going to check it. So download updates while installing Zorin OS, I'm going to leave it like that. Install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware and additional media format. So I'm going to click everything here, continue. So it's going to take like a 30 to 40 seconds and you should be good with the Ubuntu. So if you don't know how to install the Zorin OS or whatever the Linux distro, it's better to watch some tutorials in the YouTube. There are like a short videos, 2-3 minutes videos. If you watch like a 1 or 2 videos, you should be good with the installation. So there is nothing complicated of the installation. And if you ask me whether I did installation tutorials, I never made a specific installation tutorials because I made complete videos of that Linux distribution. And also my video will be a bit of more time, like a 30 minutes lengthy videos, because I'll be covering everything. So that's the reason it's better to watch some short videos in the YouTube. There are a lot of YouTube channels who make like a just installation tutorials videos. And let's continue back to the video. Installation type, you have like a erase disk install Zorin OS. Here are the advanced features. So if you want single boot, you can go with the option like a erase disk. So be careful because this option, it's going to delete everything like a media files, photos, whatever the available things in the installation drive, it's going to wipe everything. So that's the reason I said you need to choose be careful of choosing this option. That's the reason I said you need to watch tutorials. So something else, like you need to create a partition before choosing this option, and you should be installed in the specific partition. And in the boot menu, you should be seeing 2 operating system. One will be the Zorin OS in that specific partition, and another will be the current operating system which you're using. So that was the installation. After clicking on continue, you should be creating like a user account, which is like a username, password and all those things, which is pretty much same in every Linux distro and in every operating system. So that was the installation. Because I need to make another video, so I don't have that much of time, so I can't install anything here. So we already saw the desktop features. Let's now check the backgrounds. After backgrounds, we're going to do a stress test and we're going to end the video. So before that, let's check the settings and all those things. You get the same settings, same as the 17, so there is nothing change here. In the backgrounds, again same wallpapers, you get a bunch of wallpapers. So every wallpaper looks pretty much good here. So they have best wallpapers loaded in the Zorin OS. So I'm going to choose this one, and also this one kind of looks like a Windows XP. So a lot of users who used Windows XP love that wallpaper because it's a famous wallpaper. So if you are like from 90s, you should be loving the type of background, because most of us we loved the Windows XP wallpapers and also the older versions of Windows. So here is also other information like other wallpapers also. So this one is also looking good, so I'm going to keep it like that. And about the notifications, you can customize according to your wish. If you want to turn off, you can turn off, you can do whatever you want here. And about the search, here is complete thing. Multitasking, again same thing, nothing is changed in the multitasking. Under the applications, nothing changed. About the privacy, so it's always good option to turn off like a location and camera. Always turn it on when you only want it, or else you just turn it off always. And about the online accounts, same thing. Sharing, same thing. So I'm not going to touch on the sound because it's going to mess my OBS recording. It's always going to, whenever I click on the sounds in the Linux distros, it's going to mess up like a laggy thing in the OBS recording. So I'm not going to touch anything here. So I kept everything on the power options, so everything is default, nothing changed. On the displays, here is the fractional scaling. If you want to like a 150, 175, you can click on the fractional scaling. Everything is same here. Here is the night light. If you want, you can schedule. Only do this when you installed it on the bare metal or in the virtual disk. It doesn't work on the live boot. So here is mouse and touchpad. I'm going to check on the natural scrolling. So natural scrolling checked on. So here is other things. Keyboard, everything kept same. Printers, if you want to add printer, you can add it. Removable media, I kept everything as default. If you want, you can change according to your wish. About the color, everything is same. Region and language, same. Accessibility, everything is same. Users, default application. So if you have like a multiple browser, choose whatever browser you want. Whatever the applications have, like a 2 applications for that, photos or videos, whatever it is, you can choose whatever you want here. You can choose the options there. Date and time, everything is kept same. About the information, which we already saw in the beginning. So I covered almost everything. So what else we have here? Here is the activities. So let's even change some of the settings. So let's see what pre-installed applications you have in the Zorin OS 17.2. Under the accessories, you get the 4 applications. Under the graphics, basic applications. Internet, the browser and Ramina. Office suite, you should be seeing some LibreOffice, Evolution, Contacts and Calendar. Under sound and video, you don't get a VLC, you just get some basic like a rhythm box, sound recorder, cheese and videos and all those things. Under system tools, you should be getting all those things like a tour, upgrade and software updater, Zorin OS Connect, Zorin Appearance and Windows app support and all those things. Under utilities, you get these applications. So these are all the things you get in the Zorin OS 17.2 Core Edition. In the Pro, you should be seeing also different things. So layout, I'm going to change the layout. For the Pro users, you should be seeing some different things like a Mac OS style and all those things. So this is the GNOME version. These are some other things. So I'm going to change it to this one. So as you can see, everything changed instantly. Let's see the GNOME version. So this is how it looks. So this one kind of looks like a Windows. This one too. So I'm going to choose this one. And about the theme, which I already mentioned, about the effect, let's click on the Jello mode. it's working. Desktop, if you want to add something, you can add it here. Icons, standard icon size, you can change according to wish. Windows, we already saw everything. Interface, everything is same. Taskbar settings, which I already showed in the beginning. About the fonts, these are all the fonts. So what else we left here is to open a bunch of applications to do a stress test. So these are all the applications or pre-installed applications you get in the 17.2. So here is the tour, here are the startup applications. So if you want to add, you can edit, you can remove. So it's same thing, so nothing is complicated here or nothing is changed. And what else we left here is like a Windows app support. You can upgrade to Zorin OS. So you just need to install Zorin OS before upgrading. What else we left here? Like a utilities. And the next thing, the software updater. Here is the software and updates. Here is the software updater. Let me open both of these things and let me show you. So here it's checking for the upgrades. So I don't think there will be any update because the ISO file is downloaded right now. Other softwares, updates, authentication, additional drivers. So the jelly mode is pretty much awesome. So it was from the older version, so I kept everything as a default. Let me close it. And here is the software updater, checking for updates still. So we have some updates like a 1415. It's a 141.5 MB, sorry. I'm sitting far away from the monitor, so that's the reason I can't properly see it. So here are the system components. When you click on it, you should be seeing everything like this many of the updates, almost like a 140 MB. So I don't want to install anything because I'm running it on the live boot. So we saw everything. Let's do a stress test by opening like a bunch of applications. So basically this stress test is like opening a few applications to see whether the distro will handle day-to-day tasks. So I don't see any lag or any crashes in this version. Usually Zorin OS doesn't crash in most of the cases, but if you had like those issues, do let me know in the comment section. So it's pretty much stable without issues in my point of view after running almost like maybe 30-35 minutes maybe or 40 minutes like that. So I didn't face any issues or any bugs or anything like that. So it's working properly in my point of view or in my PC. So it's a positive response or a positive opinion from my side. So if you want to try it, you can try it. I already mentioned about the upgrade and all those things. So there is literally nothing left right now. So let's open system monitor. So let's see how much of resources it's consuming. So you should be seeing the CPU graph high here because of all the applications I opened just instantly. So instead of waiting, I opened every applications instantly. That's the reason you should be seeing a high graph. But when applications are completely opened, you should be seeing a stable graph again, back to same stable graph. So you just need to wait for a few seconds and you should be seeing the stable graph. About the RAM, it's consuming like a 3.6 GB. So in the bare metal, it's going to consume like a 3.2 GB or 3 GB, something like that. It will be that much of difference. You don't see like a 1.5 GB or 2 GB difference. You just see a minor difference in the CPU and RAM. And also there will be a smooth experience on the bare metal. So this is the GNOME or the core edition. So you should be getting the GNOME version, and also the GNOME version will consume a lot of resources. So if you want the light edition, you can go with the light edition, and you should be seeing the XFCE desktop environment. So if you have like a low-end PC, it's better to go with the light edition. If you have a good end PC, you can go with the GNOME version, which is the core edition. So it's clearly up to you. You can try it on your own and decide. So this is how it performed on my PC. About the process, these are all the processes running right now. So I think I'm going to check the applications versions and I'm going to end the video. About the rhythm box, you get the 3.4.4. About the firewall, this is the version 22.04.0. And here is the LibreOffice template. I already showed you the version of the LibreOffice, which is 24.8. So here is the version. And about the rhythm box, which I already showed you. About the browser, we have the 130 version. About the file manager, let's check the version. You get the 42.6. Again, these are all the same things, so I don't want to go through all the things. You can customize according to your wish. So you can change the preference, you can customize according to your wish. So it's clearly a GNOME desktop, older GNOME desktop environment, so you know what to do here. About the installed applications, let me show you the installed applications. So these are all the installed applications in the Zorin OS 17.2. About the updates, it's clearly up to date. Preference, you can change. Software repositories, here is the about software 45.3. Let's close everything. So you have like a older version, or if you are using 17, you already know what are the changes here. So if you want to open the applications, you should be getting a screenshot and also the version information. So it's pretty much same. Here are the flat hub, apt, and all the other information. Here is the download size, permissions, and all those things. So I think that's the end of the video because we covered everything. So there is literally nothing left here. So I'm going to end the video. So I'm going to show you the logout screen and I'm going to end the video. And also I will be posting like a 2 videos. So the other video will be after like after posting this video will be some time like a 4 or 5 hours, and the video will be available right there. So this is how the logout screen looks. So it's better to if you turn on the notification, if you already subscribed, as soon as the video is available you can watch the videos. It's better to turn on the notification instead of keeping an eye on the channel. So it's better to subscribe and turn on the notification because I'll be posting 2 videos daily without missing. So that's how the username and all those things looks. So you just need to type in like a username like a Zorin and you should be logged in. So that was the video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.